Go ahead.
Okay, everybody, look, we are live and we're waiting on Kenny. He's coming, he's on the way. But before, we always have great people like Bradley saying hello and Barbara saying hello. Yep, like so much is going on. I can't keep up. Yeah, elections have consequences. That's the whole focus of tonight's episode. I just want to take a moment and talk to all the people who are bookmarking this, who are setting this aside, who are with us every single week. It's been 25 episodes. This is the 25th episode of the Big Three. And it just means a lot. Like, it's really, really special. And I want to say this, right? Like, I know Tiffany, I think, remembers when, was it Ken Klippenstein, that dirty ass piece of shit?
That little bitch.
That little bitch who basically was trying to mock us for not having like massive views. I'm gonna tell you something. What we have is something that people like Clint Klippenstein, what the fuck his name is, they can't pay for it. Well, they can't pay for it. It's like paying for Russian bar farms, but it's not real. It's real people like you who actually care about not only what we have to say, but who, care about us and we care about you back. Like, that really means that makes it worth it. You cannot pay for that kind of support in the world of content creation. It really does mean a lot. It really does mean a lot. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. As we're waiting on Kenny to join. And yeah, Barbara, I think you already kind of know where we're going and you kind of know where this is. And we're going to do a really good discussion of it. I need you guys to be ready to talk back and be ready to dialogue back with us, because I'm going to be honest with you. I'm in a very low place today. The news around the voting, what's going to ultimately happen with the Voting Rights Act has definitely brought me down, but there is hope. I know that I'm a real serious, intense guy. It's the nature of a Scorpio. But surprise, surprise, if you actually, dug deep, despite all my realism, because I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that we're not fucked. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that we're not about to take 2 to 3 decades back, because we are. You need to know that and prepare for it. But I have hope, and we'll talk about the hope, and we'll talk about what could happen that could be positive, or that could be, for us, at least sustainable and survivable. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. And I agree with you, Mama Bird. The followers many times are not real. The followers many times are not real. But you are, and that's what makes a big difference. That is what makes a big difference. And so we got voting happening in California. Voting is happening here in Georgia. Tiffany, have you guys started early voting already?
We don't have the only elections that we have here. We do even year elections, so we don't have any elections except for one jurisdiction has elections. So you literally could go all over Maryland and don't see a sign, and then you get to Annapolis and then you see all kinds of signs. So it's just one of those things where it's just weird, because people here aren't paying attention unless they actually have an election in their locale. And so that's the thing. That's why I always say all politics is local, because even when there's off years, you're still hearing, what's going on. I actually just came from an event. We're getting ready for 2026 here, people. So we have county executives. Majority of our county executives are up for re-election, or they have already they're terming out. So I had went to Vanessa Atterbury. She is currently a delegate in the General Assembly, and she is running for county executive for Howard County. She gave a great speech. It was she was so humbled by her own event, because she didn't even realize that many people were going to come out on a Wednesday night.
Yeah.
And I have to be honest that I didn't even think that many people were going to come out. And like you today, I'm just I wasn't feeling it. And I was like, before I was going, my husband was like, you don't sound like you want to go nowhere. And I said, I really don't want to go anywhere.
But you have to go, right?
I made a promise that I would go. So when you make a promise,
you're a major figure in local politics there in the whole entire state of Maryland. And that's kind of what we have to do. That's a part of our work as content creators who leverage influence, because we're not influencers. We're content creators, political content creators and commentators. And to a certain extent, we're, democratic strategists. But because we do leverage influence, I think, we have a responsibility to show up, even if we don't feel like it. And yeah,
listen, if I make a commitment to do something, just like I make a commitment to come here every Wednesday, no matter how I'm feeling. Same way I feel about, when I make a commitment to somebody, I'm a loyal person. And if I say I'm gonna come, then I'm gonna come, even if I'm not social and I'm not in the mood to be chit-chatting. But I will make my way. And it was so funny because my friend Yvonne, she introduced me to a homegirl, and I laughed at the way she introduced me. She's like, "This is Tiff," and she's like the TMZ, but like the good TMZ of Maryland politics. I said, "Girl, you silly," but I take it. I take it. It is what it is.
We are on the third week, people, of a government shutdown. And so hence today's, opening background, third week. And people are hurting, and the messages is out there. Currently, Democrats hold in the favorability of this. I do not know how long, however, that's going to last. And I think that is something that is, for us to keep our minds and our eyes and our ears on. This is the fault of congressional Republicans because they refuse to even show up to work. Like, I understand that House Democrats are wanting something for the American people, but they can't even be told no by Republicans if Republicans aren't there to even vote. So I want to emphasize that again. Anytime that people are saying, any way around that Democrats are the ones closing the government or not, they're there. They're at work. They show up. The Republicans aren't even fucking in Washington, D.C. So please, people, don't forget that. Talk about it, share it, amplify it. I think that, some people are shocked that Democrats haven't caved. Now, that's a good thing that's kind of referenced by my bird as Kenny enters the chat. A new bombshell has entered the villa. Here's the question, right? Like, here's something to kind of talk about. Like, but of course, like, somebody's gonna cave. And so when the Democrats cave because airline travel shuts down, because enough people are hurting, and they're the only party that cares about the people, are we gonna be mad?
I'm just glad that they're lasting as long as they did. Okay, I had no faith. Okay, I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you. I saw absolutely no hope. I didn't see it for the Democrats, but I'm seeing this pushback. I'm seeing the fight. I'm seeing the fire that we've been asking for the longest. I see that they're tailor making their content. I'm seeing better graphics. I'm seeing better messaging from the Democratic Party, and I see unity for what we needed from the beginning. From the get-go. So honestly, I'm not going to be upset because I understand that this is affecting a lot of people. It would be very privileged of me to sit here and say, oh, well, you guys just need to continue to hold the line, when I understand that there are people in the federal government who are furloughed, who Trump is saying, I'm not going to give y'all any type of backpay. Like, this is affecting a lot of people's day-to-day lives, and it's very privileged for a lot of us to constantly tell people that they need to sacrifice while we're sitting on our high horse still getting a paycheck, still paying our bills, still keeping our lights on. I mean, just because their ass is furloughed doesn't mean that their damn bills are.
You got that right. People, listen, I just think that Americans are just so laid back, and so many people are just so disconnected from what's really happening that a lot of people just don't even care. I'm dead serious that a lot of people just really don't care.
Yeah. Well, they have to be hurt individually. They have to see it individually. And the airport shit is hurting. TSA workers calling in, our air traffic controllers not showing up to work. Now that shit is hitting. When those TSA lines and people are missing flights, or people are having delayed flights and things that they have to do for work or family or planned vacations are hit, that hits them. And so
Zach, let me ask you this. There are people that are traveling, but the people that need to feel it to actually care ain't traveling. You know what I mean? So it's like, this is the stupidity of this all. It's like Kenny said, the average person who is not a federal worker, who just gets up in the morning, goes to work, don't watch the news, probably don't even know it's a damn shutdown at this point. Until I like it, because this is not something realistically, the government is still functioning, right? The government is still functioning in many ways. So unless you need something from the courts, the federal courts, or you need something that you want to go to a park or a museum, I mean, people, the average person is not feeling this. And unfortunately, I don't know how people will feel, but I also see there's two schools of thought at this point. There's a lot of Democrats in my comments that are like, well, just let them reopen the government and let them take the fall for the premiums going up. And I do have an issue with that in a way, because I mean, as a Democrat, as a person who cares about people, if you just say, okay, do it, just do what you want to do, you're also complicit in that, right? So you now help to raise the cost because you gave up. So there is that school of thought, and then there's the people that are like, keep on going, but then you're also hurting other people. You are hurting somebody either way. And a person like me is like, how do you resolve this? Like, there's supposed to be a deal. There's supposed to be a negotiation. This is not a one-sided thing, but it is, because these people refuse to go to work or even negotiate. And hold up, did I see this correctly that Hakeem Jeffries is debating Mike Johnson? Did I see that for real? Because I was like, what?
Be on C-SPAN. They're gonna talk about it on
Lord.
Wait, when is this happening?
I don't know.
Oh God,
I'm not watching that shit.
I am watching. I'm sorry, I have to.
I mean, it's just I'm not going to watch. There's just no point in it. Like I'm over it. I'm over. I don't see how I so maybe, but it's highly unlikely, because it's really no point in it. You motherfuckers debate every fucking day. That's your job in the house, on the House floor. Like, I don't need to see that shit. It's not. It's frustrating. I know that it's like trying to message across, but who the fuck is gonna watch C-SPAN that doesn't? Who needs to? Right? The people that know this are already, like you said, Tiff, they're already watching it. They're already in the know. So it's not going to do anything to move us, move us forward. It is a no-win situation, an exception. I do want the Democrats to continue to fight. I do feel as though the pain is the only way it's going to come through. But for some odd reason, I think people have to I don't know why Republicans. Well, I do know why. I understood today why. But the Republicans firmly feel that they are above any consequence of their actions, because they've always known they're going to get 30 more seats added to their delegation from the gutting of the Voting Rights Act. I think that's now, it makes it clear why they didn't give a fuck about the ACA, but they don't care about the polls, because they knew they were going to rig it. Now, that still doesn't mean they're guaranteed those seats if Republicans, specifically white Republicans in this country, decide enough is enough and vote Democrat. But they feel as though they've done such a good job of brainwashing and mind control that will never happen. That they are going to choose poverty, they're going to choose death, they're going to choose all the suffering possible just to stay a part of the community. And they very well may. When you talk about why the Democrats are fighting for these premiums to see what they are, they know, the Republicans know this, and I think this is a flip of it. People are going to choose just to forego health insurance. They're going to opt out of ACA. They're not going to have health insurance, and they're going to deal with whatever comes what may. They also aren't going to talk about it. People don't talk about not being able to afford basic necessities. People are not talking about, I don't have money for food. I don't have money for clothes. I don't have money for my light bill. I don't have money for health insurance. People aren't talking about that because they're embarrassed to do so. And Republicans know that. And they're using that as a push through with this really horrendous agenda.
But I mean, hell, I ain't too proud to beg.
I'm sorry. When shit starts getting rough, so you better lean into a community that can help your ass. That's all I know. I mean, my whole history has been, even with the inception of me creating my whole platform, I've told people about my struggles and things that I've gone through and things like that, because you just never know. There's a whole community out there that helps you. But right now, as you know, I went on Colin Harris's book tour. She said that during her book tour, a lot of us have to start leaning in on community-based organizing and what we can do to help each other, because she doesn't believe that we have a functional government in this moment that's going to be able to help the people. So we have no other choice but to lean into each other. We're going to have to look into like these organizations that crowd fund to try to make sure that people have abilities to afford their prescription drugs or being able to keep their lights on. So we're gonna have to lean on one another in this moment.
Yeah,
So yeah,
I
we
think
have
that
to.
is
We have to share those stories. We have to talk about what's going on. Are you struggling? Do you need help? What resources are available to you? We have to come together as a community to help lift each other up because the lights are getting cut out.
I agree. And here we have it, right? Like let's take a look at like and this is why we don't have a functioning government. The Supreme Court is set to, and they're signaling they're going to remove the section 2, the final part of the Voting Rights Act, which is going to ultimately undo all of the protections in southern states that have garnered about 30 congressional seats for Democrats. And, that's very likely to happen. That pretty much guarantees that Republicans will control all branches of government in 2026. Okay. Again, and that they will have had 4 years of both party control, of both House control in the Senate, which is unheard of in modern era, and they will be able to cement their agenda, their policy. There will be no overturning. And I think that it's really essential that we begin to conceptualize this and begin to strategize around it. That is what really brought me down today and why I didn't even feel like doing anything. Like just the fucking week is over. Like the whole fucking, it's just over. This is as bad as you think. But it's as bad as you think. So, I mean, I'll just open the floor from you guys before saying anything further around what hope I can find in this moment.
I'm not trying to sit here and say that there obviously is no hope. I mean, obviously, we already know what the Supreme Court decision is going to be. We already understand that Section 2 is going to be removed. They did it with Section 5. I mean, all of this continues to happen when they got rid of the ability to decide whether, on a federal level, they'd have that task force that will determine whether states will have the ability to be district and all of these other things. But this is the situation that we're dealing with right now. He told us during the election that this would be the last time that we would have the ability to vote. He told us that if we vote, that if Republicans and Christians vote for him and vote him in and Republicans, they will never have to vote again. This is exactly what he meant. He's literally trying to cut down and dwindle the power of the black vote to 1/5 of a vote, just like they believe that we were 3/4 of a human being or 3/5 of a human being. This is what happens when people sit here and tell you that elections have consequences. When people told you to sit at home because apparently your vote didn't matter. Well, guess what? When you speak words into fucking existence, that's what will be. Now, our vote just may not motherfucking matter, especially if your ass is in the fucking South. If your ass is living in a red state, but you are heavily populated with black people,
No,
and we
the black
already see
vote
how
is
it's
no
already
longer a
stacked
valid.
against us already.
Yeah,
We're already
it's over.
gerrymandered to where we have the heaviest populations in the damn South, but yet all
Over.
these people don't have the ability to
Mhm.
count as far as their vote to have the representation that they need
Yeah, it's
in their
over.
district.
Understand that there is no more talk of a black vote. Like that comes to an end. It's no longer relevant. Understand there's no more talk about Latino and Hispanic voter outreach. That's over. There's no value in it anymore because there's no representation in Congress. Those votes will only matter in general elections. Those votes will only matter when it is in large elections where every vote, like for statewide offices, and it's total population. But when it comes to how representation occurs in the House of Representatives and how the House of Representatives is supposed to represent constituents, we're going back to pre-civil rights era. We're going back further than we were in 1965. We're going back to like 1955, when we have to resume the fight to garner rights and representation. That's what we're going to be. Black people make up 13% of this population. Brown people are making up around 12% of this population. We don't have the numbers to be substantive, and they are making sure that we don't. They're making sure that we don't. They've constantly tried to get us to not vote, suppress the vote. This is the final nail in the coffin. And many people will realize what they took for granted once it's gone, is what I do believe.
Okay, so This decision is not going to come down until like June, end of June next year. So I don't know how much impact this is going to have. No, it will. It will. This is the Supreme Court schedule.
They won't release it until then.
Yes, because
sometimes so we know for a fact. Because I thought they had that choice. They push it back typically to June.
No.
But sometimes they drop it earlier because
I don't think they're gonna do that. This is gonna be one of those. This is gonna be a Dobbs. This is the last case of the year kind of thing because they know that this is gonna make people go crazy kind of thing. So they're not going to drop that in March. They're more than likely going to drop this in June, the last week of June. But that does not really give enough time for any state to redistrict. So this is a 2028 fight that we are going to have with this, in my opinion, just knowing how the Supreme Court works, that 2028 is going to be hell on earth. So the thing with 2026 is what I am concerned with 2026 into going into 2028. Even if we were to by chance take back the House in 2026, the problem is that when we're talking about Donald Trump and the presidency and is he going to stay in office and all this stuff like that, and then what if a Democrat wins? If Republicans retain the House in 2026, they literally could not install anyone in 2028. I mean, they could literally keep somebody. If Donald Trump could stay in power. They already tried this. They know the rules. They know how to get around these things. And we need to make sure we take back the House for this reason, because Democrats need to be in power. I made a whole video about this a couple months ago about Democrats needing to be in power, which is why Newsom, as much as people do not like him, he understands the stupidity and the things that Donald Trump and these Republicans and Steve Bannon and all these people are cooking up behind the scene. And he understands civics. And civics says that these people will do anything to stay in power, which means you need to avoid them from getting back in power in 2026 so that they are not in power in the House in 2028. I mean, I don't know how much more to explain this.
Yeah, I don't, but see, so you're saying like you think it'll come down in June, which would then be too late to redistrict in many places. I just don't know. I feel like they would release this decision right before the deadline to redistrict. I'm just saying that's why they're doing it. They're doing it to beat the 2026 midterms.
Yeah, I honestly don't think this is a 2026 thing. There could be Florida could be like, well, I mean, they're going to redistrict regardless, right? These states Texas has already redistricted and done what they wanted to do for 2026.
Georgia's redistricting will depend on the momentum of this upcoming gubernatorial race and whether, because they will, and there's a seat in Georgia that will be lost as well, but it is highly, there's a couple seats that will be lost in Georgia. So
I think the timing of it is really is tricky for states in general, because they have to have ballots and all this stuff prepared, and then they have a primary, and you're just gonna you would even throw your own Republican candidates off by that time, because most states, I don't know when Georgia's what their primaries are, but usually it's like March, April time frame, somewhere later. So it would be too chaotic for them to try that, which is why they're trying to steal seats now. They are trying to steal seats now because they are. You got to remember, Republicans plan 2, 3, 4 years in advance, sometimes 10. Democrats, they just trying to get to tomorrow. Okay, they've been concocting this. This case has been there since I think 2019. I mean, this is a long road. These people have patience, like I don't know what, and will get their
plotting. Well, we've been running around bitching and arguing with each other every fucking day. Like while we have been putting all of our energy, all of our brain power, in arguing with each other, they have been moving like a solid force consistently and never deviating from it. Paula says if that's the case, so the Voting Rights Act is overturned, and if Section 2 is removed, it's not that you will only have white candidates. Anybody will be able to run. It's just that they will redistrict, and so right now they have to district in a way that has representation of minority votes. But before the Civil Rights Act, they didn't do that. They literally would take black neighborhoods and build around those neighborhoods all these white neighborhoods so that those black votes would be drowned out. And so now you're going to have crazy redistricting, like what you see in Texas that we're fighting against, that just takes away huge blocks of Democratic voters because those voters are black and brown. So that's what you're going to see. And that's why we're saying you're going to lose the seats. Not that there'll only be white candidates, but that the redistricting will happen and gerrymandering will happen in maps that you will not have what we call opportunity zones, but are really just simply zones where high populations of black and brown people have representation, that you could not gerrymander, cut them out by design, where you can only split neighborhoods straight down the middle because they're too black, to put more of them with white people on this side and more white people on this side, so that their voting power is diluted and their representation is taken away.
I mean, it's exactly what Texas, I mean, basically
it's already, did. You see the way that
did it. Alabama tried it. Louisiana has done. I mean, all these southern states have already kind of been playing this game. It will just look worse than what it is today. And the blue states will try to counter as much as they can, but it's a messed up thing, because the goal is supposed to be with the Voting Rights Act to give equal representation. The people are supposed to be represented. It doesn't matter. You can have a white, like I think of a district like Steve Cohen's district, right, who was being primary by Justin Pearson. That is a 60% black district that has a white representative, right? It could go either way. My district is majority, and we have a white. It's not about the person who's running for the seat. It's the makeup of the seat and if it's fair or unfair. This is what it comes down to. In the Supreme Court, if they overrule this, is basically saying race doesn't matter in this. You can basically cut and draw however you want, and it doesn't have to have fairness. It can just be. You can make it whatever you want to be, and you cannot discriminate. I mean, they're basically saying you can discriminate. And I saw something, and I didn't watch this because I have a lot going on. But somebody asked, one of the judges asked if white people are being discriminated against or something like this, and I'm like, what? Like, come on, man. This is the fuckery.
They always like to play that reverse racism thing. But here's the thing that we need to make sure that we remember, because, history is going to be written about how this happened and whose fault is all of this. I want y'all to understand that this is not going to be on the legacy of Joe Biden or anything. This is going to be on the legacy of Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema. When we were over here trying to push them back in 2021, beginning of 2022, in order to carve out the filibuster so we could pass the John Lewis Voting Rights Act. These two motherfuckers said, we don't give a fuck. We're not going to do this because there's processes and we have to follow the... Now what? Both them hoes are gone. Now all of this shit is happening. And I wonder when they sit up in their bed and they look at, the state of this damn country, I wonder if they sit here and think, well, I did the right thing.
They did what they were paid to do. I think that Democrats are. I was in a group chat with some people, and they were talking about how much they love Graham Platten, or whatever the fuck his name is.
God.
And I said, he is another John Fetterman. When you're sitting here giving more criticism to the Democratic Party, especially in this moment, than you are the Republican Party, you are not a Democrat. You are a plant. You are being paid to be there, probably paid to run, paid to win that seat. They know it's a Democratic seat or Democratic position. They know that you have the momentum. Then you're going to get that Senate seat, have a strong chance. And you're there for a reason like that. And so then they're going to turn the switch when the time comes to turn the switch, and you're going to do their bidding. Just like John Fetterman the switch has been turned. They're telling him now to do it. Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema were there as plants. They were told to do the bidding of the Republican Party, and goddamn it, they fucking did it by their funders. So they never were Democrats. They never were good people. They never cared about the people. They just cared about themselves. And now they're happy as fuck with what they're getting. And we are dumbasses for constantly falling for it, because I'm the only person in this fucking group chat, also the only black person in it, but I'm the only person in this fucking group chat who feels that way about Graham Platten. They're all like, oh my God, I love Graham.
Well, here's the thing. I feel like
that is fuck about it.
What's weird about all of this is like, okay, obviously Tiff was ahead of the curve when she knew what the fuck old boy was on. Shrek was on. She knew it. She was calling it out a long time ago. Okay, she saw the forest through the trees. The rest of us was like, well, shit, we ain't in Pennsylvania, ain't got shit to do with us. Okay, but her ass was definitely dipping her toe all up in Pennsylvania politics. She didn't give a fuck.
All up in it.
Okay, she saw it. She was digging all up in. She said, look, I don't care what the fuck y'all did. Connor Lamb. But I tell you, the way Miss Girl was going in, but it was also the fact that the Christian cinemas and John Fetterman's, they ran originally as progressives. Remember that. Now, Joe Manchin, we already knew his ass was conservative. We knew what the fuck it was. It wasn't no Democrat going to ever get that seat, especially where the fuck he was. We already knew what was going to happen with that. So we were just kind of just dealing with it. But it's those things where people are running or quote unquote running as progressives. But in actuality, they don't give a fuck about none of these policies. They're just grifting in order to get the vote. How do we vet these people to make sure that they have the certain ideology that we do want, but where they're not trying to fuck us over in the long run? Like, what do we need to do? Well, how do we do our due diligence to make sure that we're vetting these people properly, especially as we're going into these midterms?
I think the key is the people. We have to do a better job of going from we want the independent new Democratic voice, and we have to start. It's a messaging that we have to defeat and crack down on and bust up as soon as it starts. A prime example is Ro Khanna's stupid motherfucking ass sitting his ignorant fucking ass down and doing a collaboration and work with Benny Johnson. What kind of fucking name?
He did what?
Yeah, you sent it.
Benny fucking Johnson. Benny. Who the fucking name?
And he's actually making excuses on why he wants to work with him. Benny ate up on Twitter right now. I don't know.
I missed that. I would. Oh Lord,
which is interesting because
he's about to get cursed out.
I know you're going to curse him out.
There's a whole body of people supporting it, and that's also, Paula, more of what you're going to see as the Voting Rights Act is removed and the black vote no longer matters. You're going to see Democrats court a certain kind of white voter. And so Ro Khanna is ahead. He's a futurist thinker. I'll give him that. So he is doing a collab with Benny Johnson, sitting down with Benny Johnson, talking to Benny Johnson. And if you don't know Benny, he's a shithead, racist, sexist, homophobe who very much gives you homosexual. And he's sitting and he spouts hate. He's all over the place with his fucked up views. And he also was paid $400,000 a fucking year through Tenet Media, who was paid by Russia. Okay. But that was all revealed. This is the man that Representative Ro Khanna is going to sit down with and platform. Ro Khanna is a piece of shit, and he is no fucking fan or friend to any of the people who believe in democracy, Democratic Party. Period.
I did not know this. I'm so mad that I missed this. I'm so mad I missed this because it was a day and I actually was working today and then I had to go to an event. But okay, let me ask you a question first about because I'm so
several times.
I have cursed him out many times because I actually talked to Ro Khanna and he is the most confusing political person in the world. Okay, he doesn't shit.
Ro Khanna is
he wants to please like everybody. He's like so weird. Anyways, but back to your question about vetting, Kenny.
That's when that type of shit happens. We have to call it out. We have to bust it up. We have to go hard against these Democrats that stray away. And because again, there's no consequence for doing it. Maybe this is a criticism of a man I never criticize, Leader Jeffries. Maybe this is a fair criticism, is that there's obviously not enough consequences for the rogue agents. There's not enough consequences from the goddamn cats that leave the pack. Someone needs to get these motherfuckers whoop back in line. That should be the fucking job of Debbie Dingle, the fucking whip. That's your job. Debbie, get your goddamn ass up and get the lasso of truth and rope these motherfuckers up. Like Wonder Woman. That's her job. So when they do this shit that's detrimental to the party, there are no consequences. But when Republicans do it, they lose everything. They know they're not. Tim Massey knows he will not continue in his seat. They know they lose everything. We have that's a failure. But if the establishment won't do it, we the people, we the Democratic Party, we must do it. And that's why I've been eating Ro Khanna's ass up, and I'm gonna keep eating that motherfucker up. Give me the senator. What's my senator's name? Who wears that wig? Who eats it with the wig? He's 70 years old in Michigan. Thandar. Give me
talking about Street? Street with the wig?
Give me Street any day over a fucking Rokana.
Street with the wig. Okay, so back to what I was going to say about vetting. So here's my thing about the whole vetting thing. Okay. Number one, before we even talk about ideology, can we just talk about character? Like, I have a whole 4-point plan of how to vet people. I will have to roll that bitch out again in 2025, 26. I'm gonna have to go look for it tonight because I have a whole thing. It is experience. What did this person do before they actually decided to run for politics? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you were a mercenary. Oh, but yet you calling somebody else a war criminal. Okay, let's roll that back. Okay.
Yep.
Second, you want to talk about like what have they done in their past? Do they have any legal issues? Did you go and run down a black man with a shotgun? Oh yeah, maybe that disqualifies you, right? Let's talk about your ideology because I don't really care about, to be perfectly honest, I don't care about Graham Plattner's ideology because he already destroyed me just hearing his fucking mouth, right? Just hearing the way he talks, destroyed it for him from the get-go. The man sounds like he smokes a pack of cigarettes every day. Okay, there is nothing. If you're gonna shit on the Democrats to get ahead, then that's a character issue. That means you are not a good candidate because you're trying to sell something that is not. What are you trying to sell? You're trying to sell that you dislike. You're trying to be Bernie because there's only one Bernie, but Bernie wants him to be Bernie because Bernie sees his white ass in Graham Plattner. Because other people who are progressive are definitely not running that way. I have never seen the guy in New York talk shit about Democrats, and it's actually working for him. So maybe take a fucking page out of his book, and maybe that would actually work. I didn't want to say his name because Kenny said we're not allowed to talk about him no more.
Look, I'm just saying I don't necessarily want to talk about him on like every other damn topic. As a topic.
I know, I'm joking.
But Mamdani is taking heat from these shitheads every day. You know, he really is. And I mean, and again, like you said, ideology. He's a fucking candidate.
Yeah.
Zohran Mamdani is a Democratic nominee. There's no question about it. He should be getting the full support of the Democratic Party because he is a nominee. If we're sitting here as a party saying we don't get involved in the primaries, that's fine. I agree with that. But on the other end of it, once the person wins the primary, they deserve the support of the party. Okay, so if anyone has a right to attack the establishment, it would be Zohran Mamdani, who has got he is out of support of the establishment, nor the money of the establishment, but he's still there and he's going to win. But he's not doing it because, again, he has character, he has integrity, something that assholes like Graham Plattner and Rokana don't.
But he's
it's not much
picture.
To ask.
He's not going to be spending all his time beating down the party. It's not about who you beat down, it's who you lift up. And a lot of people don't like when you go negative, especially if you're sitting here telling Democrats, hey, I want Democrats to vote for me and support me, but however, I'm going to keep trashing them every step of the way. That's not how you get people to join your coalition. Coalition building is trying to make sure that it's inclusive enough that's going to garner the support that you need in order to win. And that's what Zohran Mamdani is doing. Now, regardless of how all these people feel about Zohran is running the way that he needs to, and he's also stepping in the way to protect people like Tish James running rallies saying, hey, we're not going to take this shit in damn New York. And it's that fact, which is the reason why I respect him. But no, we can talk about Zohran. I'm just saying, like, I don't want to talk about the grandiose.
Go back to getting the group chat I talked about earlier. And you just made me have a revelation. The only people who support and love to see Democratic candidates attack the Democratic Party are non-Democrats.
Yep.
And those motherfuckers in that group chat, you're new to the goddamn party. You really don't belong here because you're not one of us anyway. You're a Republican who's disaffected and kicked out because of whatever issues or whatever groups that you also may identify with. And that's why you're here, but you really aren't with us because you don't share our beliefs and you don't want to be with us anyway. So that's why you resonate with the Graham Plattner and motherfuckers like that. So that you just brought it full circle for me, Kenny. Almost as full circle as this lead group chat from the Young Republicans, who J.D. Vance said, "Oh, these are young boys being boys, motherfuckers in their 30s." These people are in their 30s, up to 40 years old. Look at what's young about these two.
Is he young? I don't know.
No,
that's a big boy right there.
That's what I'm saying. They're saying.
I honestly, when I saw that
big
one
and
on
tall.
when I saw that one on the left, I was like, I thought something totally different. But I'm not even gonna say what
I'm looking at Grimace right now. He looked like
everybody thought that maybe that was not necessarily a man. That could have been, a lady, but that's
I mean, but here's the other thing. When you're I guess what, a young Republican or a Republican influencer or whatever the fuck this is.
No, these
can't be walking around here like you can't be walking all
not
like this and looking like
these are Republican workers. These people are elected officials. These people are working on campaigns. They work on office. They're not content creators. These people are elected officials. And aspiring elected officials.
They are people that are working with Republicans in Republican groups. These are not people that are just, random. They're not Benny Johnsons and these people like that. These are people that work within the party that are in a group chat talking about all this crazy shit being, I call them the RRR. They are the fucking racist radical racist Republicans. Okay. They and the thing is, JD Vance is not going to call them out because JD Vance probably has a ton of chat just like this.
Of course.
He don't want to get exposed.
And that's the reality. This is how they talk about us. These are people who want to be in public service to take away our rights and to ensure that we are oppressed and suppressed at the highest levels. And they're winning. This is going to be gone from the news cycle in a day. It's probably already gone. Most Americans don't know this happened. They don't know they said that they constantly use the N-word. They constantly use the F slur. They talked about people being, weight. They talked about people smelling bad because they are Indian. They talked about sending people to gas chambers. They talked about disintegrating people with fire. They talked about killing their enemies. Most Americans will never know this happened because the media isn't going to amplify it.
I mean, but here's the thing. I mean, we already knew that this is what they are. And then they've already shown it, even with or without this group chat. We already knew how they were talking about us. I mean, look at the way that they were talking. They were dog walking the hell out of Vivek Ramaswamy. Like during the 2024, Republican primary till now in Ohio, where they're sitting here saying, well, I don't know if I could vote for you because you're Indian or because you're Hindu and all these other things. They telling this man to his face that we don't like you because you're Indian. That they are saying it to your face. Not, they're alluding. They are saying it blatantly that you cannot represent me.
Kenny, they didn't even like they were mad at JD Vance because his wife is Indian. They were talking shit about this man's wife, and he's the vice president. I mean, they are straight up racist. There is no ifs, ands, or buts, and we all know this. I mean, all you gotta do is listen to Nick Fuentes, and you will know how these people talk and what they think. I mean, this is what they do. And we know. The thing is that I said yesterday, the way I look at it is that they don't need any hoods anymore. They don't need to hide their racism anymore like their great grandparents did or grandparents did. They can be outright open with the racism. And who's gonna stop it? Who's gonna care? Because what was the consequences of this? Nothing. There's no consequences. Nobody's gonna shun them. There's like one person. I think one person that said that they need to leave the group or whatever. But one. The rest of the Republicans are acting like this didn't even happen. Like they're like, oh, okay, whatever. No consequences.
Hell, they might throw.
But had this been a Democrat, you already know that person would have been kicked out the party. We would have had like 100 white papers on this. It would have been a whole thing.
And the media would have talked about it for days. The media talked about it.
Nauseum. Every candidate would be asked about it. Every person would have to be accountable for it. But this is not what the media will do. They're too busy talking about all kinds of other shit that don't even matter. Like Trump.
That don't matter. That don't matter.
The expectations of us are so different. You know, they always tip the scales, not in our fucking favor. We have to be beyond. We have to be above and beyond morality in our party. And I think that's the only thing I hate about being a Democrat is that we're always picked to be the better fucking person. And I'm just tired of being the better fucking person. I want to go in the fucking dirt with their asses and give them a dose of their own medicine and say fuck the consequences.
Now, Kenny, I didn't see any of this. I didn't see any of it. So what happened? I know that I saw your picture of Stephen A. Smith with makeup, but I missed all of this.
So Stephen A. Smith is telling Jasmine Crockett that she is ghetto and she needs to work with the president. She doesn't need to constantly berate the president or sink to his level, even though he will not keep Jasmine Crockett's name out of his fucking mouth. But when Jasmine Crockett claps back at the president and gives him a dose of his own medicine, like I was just saying earlier, all of a sudden she's ghetto. All of a sudden she's just a loudmouth and she's not doing anything. He's sitting here saying, well, how is this helping the people of your district? She's representing the people of her district because she's voicing what the people of her district are feeling about this president, about this administration, about how this is affecting them, about how they're going to lose their health care, how they're going to lose their SNAP benefits. Jasmine Crockett is telling people, using her platform to the best of her ability to represent her constituents by letting it be known that this is how the fuck they feel. But yet Stephen A. Smith, who, interesting enough, got so much shit to say about black women all of a sudden, got so much questions and telling black women how the fuck they should operate, this, that, and the other, even to the point where he was talking shit about what's the tennis player, Serena Williams.
He was talking shit about Serena Williams and her husband.
He always got so many. He was talking shit about Kamala Harris's book tour.
Yeah, he hates black women. Oddly enough, he doesn't have
Serena Williams about her marriage. Oh, well, you shouldn't be out here performing with Kendrick Lamar, this, that, the other. It's interesting. This man who has never been married a day in his life, his ass always want to talk about what people need to do in their motherfucking marriage, but he was so busy being a fucking has-been rather than being an actual fucking husband. He got so much shit to say about what black women should be doing, as if he has any fucking authority, as if he's ever been married ever a day in his life. Because he damn sure he never married a black woman, but he got 2 damn kids out of fucking wedlock. He need to shut the fuck up and stop grifting into fucking politics, because I know he thinks it's lucrative at this moment. This is the same fucking man that was right back during the 2024 election telling us that black men can relate to Donald Trump because of his felony convictions. Pretty much equating that all black people are criminals. So we can relate to this fucking felon who broke the law and caused an insurrection.
And, what has been the consequence? Like, that is also a part of what has to also happen. When people do and say deplorable shit, we have to deplatform them. We have to unfollow them. We have to do that work, or they're only going to gain momentum. White racist people and black racist people against black people love shit like this. So Stephen A. Smith is catering to them. He's gaining their support. We have to pull our support away, and we have to make that support pull away now.
How? I mean, the whole thing is he feeds into the whole narrative.
We don't unfollow enough.
But this is the thing. I can't hold Stephen A. Smith accountable because I don't fucking watch ESPN. I don't watch that shit. Sorry, not sorry. It is not for us. It's not for me and Zach to hold them accountable, or Tiff, because I don't even think Tiff even watches sports like that. But it's gonna be heterosexual black men like Ben Crump who are going to be able to hold this man accountable. We can't do shit. We can't hit him in his pockets because we're not his fucking audience. So, I mean, I can keep emasculating him with the memes and shit like that and keep calling him out on his hairline that starts at the back of his motherfucking neck. I can do all of those things. But however, I can't hold him accountable as much as these men can. So if you're watching, and if we have our straight audience and our, straight male allies, stop watching his shit. Stop supporting his shit. Stop asking him to host any fucking thing sports related. Find somebody else. Get somebody else to do it.
No, I think you're right about and we need men who are in sports who actually like talk. So I forget his Steven, I forgot the basketball player that he made a video and he went at him and said, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why do you keep going at women? And they need to be called out on this, because it's exhausting. Because if you keep letting him do it, he's going to get away with it, and then he's going to continue to do it. So somebody needs to chin check that motherfucker. And it starts with actual men doing it,
doing that work.
Yeah, because we as women, we're not going to be able to do it. I mean, he don't give a shit. He's a misogynist. He really doesn't care. I don't think there's any woman that I have ever seen that Stephen A. Smith liked, even in sports. I do watch sports. When Monica McNutley and him went back, they're definitely not a black woman. When they were going at it, he was very offended. And she, that's how I got to know her. I mean, he is just a nasty person, period. But he knows how to get a rise out of people, and that's kind of his shtick, even in sports, is to go. So, and he attacks LeBron James all the time. I mean, but it's on sports, but sometimes he goes a little too far, and then LeBron has had to check him too. You know what I mean? So there's this thing where he thinks that he's gonna be like, he thinks that he has like some kind of lane in politics now, because the white men and some black men have decided that he is actually legitimate and can talk about sports. But him, and there are others who think they understand civics that do not understand civics. And that right there pisses me the entire hell off, because I had to go and have a whole conversation with that one van about the fact that he don't know what the hell he's talking about. You're not going to hold people accountable by doing nothing. Okay, you want to hold people. You this man literally said, because I posted a video of his podcast, and this is the issue with podcasters. Okay, and they have podcasts, and he had Gavin Newsom on, and I thought Gavin Newsom gave a really good answer about the fact that how government works. And while you can be ambitious and want all these things as an elected person and promise things, you still have to work with the legislature. You still have to work within the system to be able to achieve something. And this man came, and Jamie Harrison responded to me, and he responded to Jamie Harrison and was all in his feelings, because guess what? If you get 80% of the things that somebody promises, that's an amazing thing. If I get 40, then we have a problem. But if I get 80% of the things that you promise, like Westmore, he has given us about 80% of the things that he promised. I appreciate that. There is still 20% that he's going to fight for. Should we hold him accountable and vote him out because we didn't get the 20% that we didn't want? No, we keep fighting and let him try to keep continuing to get the 20%. This man said he wants 100% of everything that was. That is not realistic. I am a pragmatic realist. I understand how this works, and I need people to understand how politics and freaking civics works. God damn it.
But here's the thing. It's always that. Let's look at this. Okay. People always want to sit here and talk about, oh, well, you're not giving me 100% of everything that you're promised. I mean, how long has Bernie been promising us Medicare for all?
Child, please.
The expectations, again, on real Democrats are just fucking outlandish. I don't fucking understand it, and it honestly pisses me the fuck off. How many other people that we put on these fucking pedestals that have promised us something but have yet to pass a fucking bill? I was talking about how it's interesting to me that Lisa Blunt Rochester has been in office for about 8 months now, and she has already had a bill enacted dealing with fair housing. Now, do she get the platform that she deserves? Do people talk about Lisa Blunt Rochester the way that they need to? No. And the fact that she's able to do this during a Trump presidency?
Yeah, right. I mean, you're right.
Some girls is working. Angela Alsobrooks got a bill passed too. So these people got more bills passed than that old crusty man that has been there for 20 something years that has not gotten, or he got a post office. That's about it. A post office. Though the thing is about being in the Congress is you have to negotiate and work and compromise. People don't like that word compromise, but guess what? That is how you are successful. I think Agent MG said, Lauren Underwood, Jonah Goose, these people have receipts because they actually do the work and they try to work with their colleagues. I don't think people get that. Bernie does not like to work with Democrats. He don't even like to work with Democrats. God damn it.
Kenny, you're saying
work with Republicans.
Right, so Kenny, this I can make sure you're saying that that Lisa Blunt Rochester has passed more bills than Bernie Sanders.
Yes,
already one. But this doesn't even include her work as Congress. I haven't looked at that. I just know. I looked it up, and I always want to see what the fuck people are doing because people like to talk fucking shit. I'm like, Lisa Blunt Rochester just passed the bill literally about 5 days ago.
And we need to, again, I need to make that video. I'll put them up side by side and say, look at what look what she did, look what he did. But 1 year, 20 years.
But again, it's all about mediocrity. This is what Black people are fighting against right now. Right now, when they're sitting here telling us that we don't deserve or this person needs to be removed from their seat and stuff like that, they're coming after our Black elected leaders. And it is coming from both sides when you really sit here and look at it. You got what do we call it? The authoritarian left. And then you also have what's going on with this whole redistricting thing. Like, this is the first time that we've had this amount of elected Black leaders ever elected to Congress and the Senate in U.S. history. We are literally sitting here with 2 Black women senators for the first time in U.S. history.
For now, and they're doing all they can to take that away. We are at the end. We hit our hour mark. Great comments are still, of course, coming in. Take them. Absolutely. I want to take a moment to thank everybody who watched last week's episode of the Signal Live where I was anchoring. If you haven't seen it, you can still go back and see it on their YouTube channel. They were like, who are these people? Like the Zach crew. Like they even recognize that they saw you guys there. It means a lot to me. I appreciate it. And thank you. There was a clear, even spike in viewership in terms of live engagement on the YouTube. And if you would like to be a Signal Live ambassador, they're interested in. I'll be posting something as they figure out how they want to do that, because they were like, this is the kind of community and these are the kind of people that we want to reach, that we want to engage and work with. So you definitely left a huge impression on the big dogs at the Signal Live. I'm a no dog at the Signal Live. I'm just someone who's working because I believe in what they're doing. This is the project of Angela Robb, Brittany Packnett Cunningham, and Holly Holiday, and a group of people who are very committed to trying to create a ecosphere of news and programming that will just be beholden to the truth for the Black community and our allies. And so all the help that I can give them, I'm happy to do, and happy to bring anyone else into that work that wants to be brought into the work. So with that being said, thank you. And we are going to review 100 days. I think, when did we say the deadline was, Kenny, to have it ready?
They got until the end of the month.
You guys have until the end of the month. And we'll do a special discussion of 107 days and talk about all the things, the whole process. And who knows who we can even get for that. So let's work, Kenny, on getting a special guest. Let's see if we can get a special guest.
All right.
Kenny, let's ask VP if she'll come. Can we? I'm gonna ask. I ask Morgan and you ask Morgan and Tiffany. You ask. Let's all ask all the contacts and let her give us any day she wants for any time.
I need Opal's number. See, that's the problem. I mean, God love Morgan, but still, I need
Opal the lady who didn't give me my goddamn picture?
No, I don't know. I don't know who was in Atlanta with you, so I can't.
It was the Black lady who was like, who said, it's Zachary.
It was the Black woman. I don't know her.
And I'm like, I've been waiting. I have been waiting for my photo. Which I got because of Noah. Shout out to Noah. Oh, yeah, I think Noah's birthday. Oh, shit. Noah's birthday might be today. I hope we didn't forget Noah's birthday.
He is so tall. He got so tall. Oh, my God.
You know what?
His voice is changing.
Yeah.
Noah hit puberty overnight, right?
That's why usually happens.
I noticed it too. I'm like, Noah got tall. Like, dude, you're growing up. And he's so smart. I never post, I just, in 10 years, I rarely ever posted pictures of my ex. And Noah was like, here's your picture. And here's my ex, my former uncle's picture too.
Oh,
I'm like,
you
no,
know, Noah be knowing it's in the name.
I'm like,
how
did your ass know that?
His
Like,
ass be digging. He be, you know, he's a private
Noah
investigator.
be watching. Noah be knowing.
Cute.
I know. So, you guys, thank you guys for the love. Thank you for the support. And again, it means you don't know how. I can't even put it in a word. It really means a lot. Like I don't even know how to say it. Like it really means a lot. In the work of content creation, I know me, right? I'm speaking of me. I know I'm going to get big while I say it. Just here's a moment of honest vulnerability. You know, I make content that it doesn't resonate always with the general populace. I know that people, but I know it, right? Like I have a level of the way that I talk and the way that I communicate, and even sometimes being too long-winded to put this shit together. But I'm going to do it because it's me, and I have to be true to me and true to what I do. And it's going to reach who it reaches, and it's going to hit the target audience that I'm going for. But with that, I may not always breed a level of support that some other content creators are going to have. And I may never have a huge following. I may never have a huge support base. And that's okay. I'm happy to accept that if the point is to create content I believe in. But to have the level of support that I have from you, to have you be there for me, it means so much. And so thank you guys a lot. Thank you a lot. With that being said, we will be back next week, ready to go. I may be in New York next week, but even if I am in New York, we'll still go live. It'll look a little bit different because I won't have two screens, nor will I have a high quality camera. I'll just be on like this MacBook camera, which is really not a good camera. It's a bad camera. Let me see this is what it'll look like.
It's gonna do what we're gonna do. Okay, look, I'm using the same thing, MacBook camera.
See the difference?
This is what we got. This is what we got. Okay, we're gonna make it do it. We're not gonna.
You guys have a better MacBook quality than I do. Like this, I don't know why
your lens. That's all.
MacBook is so shitty.
He said, "Wipe your lens and push it away from your face."
You're over here looking like Hakeem Jeffries in his first video. Wipe your lens.
Yeah. Next.
Oh my God, that video! He was an SD baby.
Right. Next week I'll work on it. So we'll see you guys next week. Bye, y'all.
Bye, guys.